Hare Krishna. And now we have music in Harinam by His Grace Sri Bhakti Prabhu and Her Grace Yasomati Mataji. Sri Bhakti Prabhu is a musician and a lawyer, and he has even distributed the Bhagavad Gita to the current president of Chile, and also distributed Srila Prabhupada's books to ministers, politicians, scientists and artists. Sri Bhakti Prabhu currently serves as a music teacher at Sri Dham Mayapur's Vedic Gurukula, and Her Grace Yasomati Mataji, she joined in 1971 and in recent years has become even more dedicated to the holy name. She has been travelling in North India, Nepal, Malaysia, giving seminars and retreats on the holy name. So please welcome His Grace Sri Bhakti Prabhu and Her Grace Yasomati Mataji.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for having us in this Holy Name Week to discuss the Holy Name. I'd like to speak about Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya doesn't come all the time. When he came in this age to give us the Holy Name, to give us this chanting of the Holy Name, he left 8 verses, could have left so much more, but actually if you would try to summarize the whole Srimad Bhagavatam, 18,000 verses, it would be very difficult to do it in even like 3,000 or 4,000 verses. Lord Chaitanya captured the essence, the meaning, the spirit of the entire Srimad Bhagavatam in 8 verses. And of these 8 verses, everything that's in the 8 verses is actually contained in the first verse of Shikshashtakam. So I'd like to have a little look at this first verse of Shikshashtakam. So many of you must know it, so let's sing it together. Chetudarpanam arjanam bhava mahadavagni nirvapanam Shreya kaira vichandrika vitaranam vidyavadu jivanam Anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam purnam mitasvadanam Sarvatmasnapanam param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. In this shloka, Bhaktivinoda Thakur talks about 7 jewels. There are 7 aspects that are brought forward. Chetudarpana marjanam refers to the cleansing of the mirror of our consciousness. So of course this is all talking about the holy name, what the holy name is doing. So it cleanses the mirror of our consciousness. What happens when the mirror of the consciousness is somewhat cleansed? Somehow Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam, the blazing fire of material existence, the miseries attached to these blazing fires start diminishing because it protects us from the fire of samsara. Shraya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. And then our attraction to disgusting material enjoyment becomes pale in the place of the flowering lotus flower of devotional life. You can see this is a gradual process as you chant the holy name. So all of a sudden, you're feeling that as the devotion takes a more important part in your life, then material enjoyment loses its flavor, there's no rasa anymore. Then there's something else that happens. Vidya Vadu Jivanam. Knowledge is revealed. Knowledge. It follows the chanting automatically. No separate endeavor, automatically it will be revealed. This is quite a touching statement because some of you may know this was one of my first questions many questions. When I first became a devotee, devotees were saying, you have so many questions, you just chant and everything will be revealed to you. And this is actually how I started chanting, because I thought, okay, let me give it a try, and then I never stopped. So Vidya Vadu Jivanam. Vadu means a wife. So just like a wife, a new bride will follow her husband, similarly, knowledge will follow when the chanting is going on. So knowledge has to be... Now, what happens once knowledge is there? Knowledge is what's keeping us from knowing who we eternally are. Who we eternally are as a servant, and maybe more specifically, what kind of servant we are in the spiritual world. So actually, by chanting the holy name, automatically this is revealed. This is very clearly pointed out by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his commentary to Shikshashtakam. So this is part of the power of this chanting of the holy name, that our eternal identity will be revealed. And then next, Anandam Buddhivardhanam. Yes, this happiness. Srila Prabhupada speaks about this in 4th canto purport. Bhakti Yoga system is a topmost yoga system. And in this system, the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is the foremost performance of devotional service. By chanting the holy name, one can attain all perfections. Then he later on says, when one is situated in that position, he no longer has any interest in material opulence or even a royal throne or sovereignty over the whole planet. This situation is called Viraktir Anyatrasyat. It is the result of devotional service. And what is the topmost devotional service? The chanting of the holy name. Patipadam Purnamrita Svadanam Sarvatma Snapanam. This chanting of the holy name cures the disease of material existence at every step for everyone. So what do we have to say about this holy name? Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Let this holy name be glorious. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati he recommended that this Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam be the motto for all Gaudiya Vaishnavas, because it really encompasses everything. Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. So we are fortunate to have this Holy Name Week, wherein we have a focused time wherein we're going to increase our chanting, or at least awareness of chanting, japa and kirtan. But what is 1 week? What is 1 week? Why not 1 year? Why not 1 life? So many lives we've wasted trying to follow our senses here and there, so why not take 1 life and dedicate it to chanting the holy name? Devotional service. This is Srimad Bhagavatam 6.3.22. Devotional service beginning with the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is the ultimate religious principle for the living entity in human society. When Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments on this, he starts by saying, then you should teach us that Dharma and deliver us, servants, deliver us. It's like we have in our hand this most precious jewel, something that is not difficult to do, just singing, just chanting the Lord's name, and He can bring everything, can give us everything. He can give us Krishna Prem, and nothing else matters if Krishna Prem is there. This is everything. So we have this within our hands, yet maybe we dedicate 1 day, or maybe 2 hours in a day, or maybe sometimes we also don't dedicate that 2 hours. Why not dedicate 24 hours a day, every day, for the rest of this life, at least, to this process of chanting the holy name? Because it is the key to end all our suffering. Oh, maybe I'm not suffering so much. It's not too bad. Yeah, you can say that today. Will you say that when your loved ones leave the planet? when they die? Will you say that? When you get sick, will you say that every day? Everyone has some good days, but actually this will give you only good days in the service of Krishna. And the more you find out about who Krishna is and what is available to us as Vaishnavas, the more that eagerness will develop. Because it has to be there. The ambition to get to the spiritual world, the eagerness to get to the spiritual world has to be there. You're not going to get there unless you have that desire. If I want to go to Rome, I will first buy a ticket and I might look at some prospectus, what is Rome like. I will investigate and then I will go. Not that I will all of a sudden find myself in Rome. So the same thing goes for our eternal service with Krishna. We can't expect that we will just be there. We have to be eager to get there. We have to show Krishna, please take us back. Now in the process of doing this, Jiva Goswami gives us a hint. He says in Bhakti Sandarbha, although we should perform other limbs of bhakti in the age of Kali, we know the 9 processes of bhakti, they should be performed along with the chanting of the Lord's holy name. So you get Shravanam with Kirtanam, Kirtanam with Kirtanam, Smaranam with Kirtanam, Archanam with Kirtanam. Kirtanam has to be there. Kirtan is something like the pillars that hold the process of bhakti. Suppose you see the process of bhakti as a roof, and the pillars that hold this roof is the chanting of the holy name. So there's no such thing, there should be no such thing as a life of a devotee without a very prominent part of chanting of the holy name. Now, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was saying, just tell us, he was eager in his purport, as I quoted him. Bhaktivinoda Thakur shows a similar eagerness in the words of Haridas Thakur in his Harinam Chintamani. These are probably most people's favorite verses from Harinam Chintamani because they reflect our own consciousness. They belong. We can't sing these verses. Sometimes we read prayers and they say, oh, I want to be a worm in a stool in the house of a devotee. And we can't really, I don't know if I'm there. I don't know if I can relate. But this you can relate. These prayers you can easily identify with. So he says, Kripa kori namarupe amara jibaya nirantara nacha prabhu darita bapaya. So basically he's saying, my Lord, be merciful to me. Be merciful to me and manifest in your form of the holy name. And come dance on my tongue constantly, nirantara. Please, my Lord, you dance on my tongue. I'm holding on to your feet and I beg this of you. Can we say that? I think we can all say that. We can all beg for this mercy. And then he goes on to say, Raka hinha lao tanha Tava ichamata Yanharaka de amore Krishna namamrita. You keep me here or you take me there. It doesn't matter. Wherever you place me, one thing only is important. You give me this namamrita. You give me this nectar of the holy name. So another birth, yes, but only if I can have the nectar of the holy name. Jaga jane namadhite tavavatara Jaga jana maje more karangi kara. In order to give the holy name to the people of this world, you, Lord Chaitanya, he's speaking to Lord Chaitanya, you descended to this place. Now, you wanted to give this to the people of this world. I am one of those people. You raise your hand, I'm here. Mahaprabhu, I'm here. Amitu Adama Tumi Adama Tarana Ubaye Sambandai Patita Pavana. I am the most fallen, but you are the deliverer of the most fallen. O purifier of the fallen, that's our relationship. I am fallen and you purify the fallen. Achedya Sambandai Tomaya Maya Yada Bale Namamrita Eyadama Chaya. Our relationship can never be broken. Now this fallen person begs you the nectar of the holy name. So we're also in that situation. We are fallen, and Lord Chaitanya came to save the fallen. The only price is we have to chant, we have to do it, not just talk about it. We have to chant. We have to chant with full presence, not only lip deep, not only Krishna Krishna, and always checking when am I going to be finished. What kind of relationship is this? No, with eagerness we chant the Lord's name. In our japa and in our kirtan, avoiding the offenses. Because we're not going to go into the next verse now, but this is what the next verse of Shikshashtakam speaks about. You've invested everything, but I'm not tasting it. Why? Because I commit offenses. So if you're not tasting the holy name, this is your answer. Offenses must be there. So you check the offenses and check them again and check them again. Maybe you didn't understand them sufficiently. Maybe you're not going deep enough with the understanding of the 10 offenses. Otherwise, ruchi would be there. We take this mantra so complacently. Don't take it for granted. I remember hearing when I was a new devotee, Srila Prabhupada telling us that Narada Muni travels on the transcendental sound vibration of his veena. Do you realize? He travels on the sound vibration. Now this is something that's very amazing. Or if you've ever read Brahma Samhita, we sing some verses from Brahma Samhita every morning when we greet the deities. And in those verses is a description of the spiritual world. How did this description come to life for Lord Brahma? By chanting mantra. By chanting a mantra. Now this mantra that we chant every day, this Maha Mantra, contains all of the mantras. It is the Maha Mantra. Everything is available to us. So I think that we should make a sincere effort that when we are chanting in this mood of eagerness. My Lord, take me back, reignite my connection. We chant with some sambandha, we chant with some affection, we chant with some connection. It's very important. Now, I'm going to ask Sri Bhakti Prabhu, who is here with me, to speak about the real purpose of music in our kirtan and so on, according to our acharya, and what is the system they utilize, because actually many times devotees will say, oh, but my mind, oh, it's so difficult to focus, so difficult to concentrate, but my mind. But actually, when you're singing, when you're utilizing more of your senses, you're singing, you're playing musical instruments, then your mind becomes utilized. It becomes utilized in this chanting process. So this is one aspect, and Sri Bhakti Prabhu will elaborate on other aspects.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Yasomati Ma, for the opportunity to be here with you. It's a great honor. Thank you. I hope everyone is fine at home. My humble obeisances to all Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who are attending. Today I'll speak a little bit about the importance of music in relation, of course, with the holy name. So in his purport of Srimad Bhagavatam 10:12-34, Srila Prabhupada points out everyone has some particular duty. The Shastra has concluded, Nirupitaha, that everyone should glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead by his own qualifications. So, if you are a singer, always glorify the Supreme Lord by singing very nicely. If you are a musician, glorify the Supreme Lord by playing musical instruments. So, it's not by chance that many of our Vaishnava acharyas, they were expert musicians and also musicologists. For example, Swarup Damodar. That's why Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to call him Damodar, because he was very expert in singing. Also, in Vrindavan there were two very nice singers, Madhukanta and Madhubrata, and then they appeared in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Lila as Mukunda and Vasudeva Datta. And Mukunda used to understand the mood in which Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was immersed, and he would pick the proper ragas to please the Lord. Also, we have Govinda, Purushottam, Madhava, Vasudeva Ghosh, all very expert musicians and singers. We know that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to read the works of Vidyapati, Chandidas and Jayadeva Goswami, releasing their songs with Ramananda Roy and other very close Vaishnavas. So all these songs, they were based on ragas. For example, Jayadeva Goswami specifically mentions which ragas should be used in the 24 Ashtapadis of his Gita Govinda. So it is very interesting also the musical inputs that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives while commenting the Srimad Bhagavatam. And without going any further, Srila Prabhupada, our beloved Srila Prabhupada, he was an expert musician from very, very young age. He used to master all talas and ragas. Actually, His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj said that it was very impressive to see Srila Prabhupada recording bhajans. And while they were recording the Happening album, the sound engineer said that Prabhupada's voice had a perfect pitch. So he was very expert in music. And it is not by a cultural conditioning or just by a simple material taste that our acharyas liked this kind of music. No, this kind of music is mentioned in many of our shastras. For example, the Govinda Lilamrita, Krishnanika Kaumudi, Ananda Vrindavan Champu. Also, Hari Bhakti Vilas say that Lord Krishna likes very much the sound of the strings. If you offer some strings to Krishna, you will attain some place in Vaikuntha. It is very interesting. And also Krishna plays a veena, Tarangini veena. So it's very important to offer music, especially while glorifying Lord Krishna. And Aindra Prabhu, one time he mentioned it, that Vedic culture is Krishna's culture. And that is the culture that Krishna really likes. So just like we serve Krishna a certain type of food, and we dress the deity a certain way, and we offer Krishna certain things, so also in terms of music, we should look to the Vedic culture, the old Indian culture, and use those musical expressions. So also we should do music according to the raga system. That's what Krishna likes. He likes the raga system. At this point, I would like to clarify that this does not mean that Krishna will not accept other type of music, because Krishna just wants our love. If we offer rock and roll or hip hop, if we do it with love and devotion, for sure Krishna will accept. But it is worth understanding that our scriptures mention a musical system, and Krishna likes that musical system. So the origin of ragas, it's in the spiritual world. Srila Prabhupada in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:33a mentions that there are as many ragas as species of life, and the gopis, they created 16,000 different ragas. Afterwards, those ragas were spread in this universe. But how this type of music spread in our universe, and specifically on our planet Earth? So from Vedic scriptures we know that Lord Brahma after his long meditation while on the lotus flower, he had darshan of the spiritual world by Krishna's mercy. So he could look everything, the music, the instruments, and of course he received Vedic knowledge, perfect Vedic knowledge, including Samaveda, which is the origin of music. And it is said that after manifesting the 4 Vedas, Lord Brahma also created the Upavedas. He didn't create, but he manifested, right, the Upavedas. Very important subjects for organizing the society. For example, Ayurveda deals with medicine, the Dhanurveda with military art, the Arthashastra with polity and economy, and finally Gandharva Veda deals with music. So from the very beginning of this material world, we can see, or we can find, 2 very important types of music. One is Samagana, which is the music used in yagyas with different kind of vinas and different kind of mantras. They use only 1 swara, then they start using 3 swaras, and then 7 swaras. And we also have Marga Sangeet. So Marga Sangeet or Gandharva Sangeet is another type of spiritual music used to glorify Krishna in other auspicious occasions like pujas, ceremonies, dramas, etc. For example, Srila Rupa Goswami in his Sri Sri Radha Krishna Ganodesha Dipika says that Tunga Vidya Saki is a very well known teacher of Marga Sangeet. She's very expert in Marga Sangeet. So there are some gopis that their service is to do some concerts in halls, different kind of halls and beautiful buildings in Goloka Vrindavan. So this is Marga Sangeet, and this is the origin of the ragas. And of course, within this universe, Lord Brahma is the oldest and senior authority in the field of music, and his most prominent disciple is Srila Narada Muni, his own son. So Srila Narada Muni understood this musical system from his father. And while speaking about Narada Muni in 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada says that Narada Muni utilizes the musical notes sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni to glorify Lord Krishna. And he went all around the universe spreading the glories of the holy name of Krishna through music. So Srila Prabhupada revealed and gives a very important advice to all musical students, especially devotees interested in kirtan. He says, following in the footsteps of Srila Narada Muni, a self-realized soul in the material world should also properly use the sound meters, namely sa, re, ga, ma, etc., in the service of the Lord by constantly singing the glories of the Lord, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Then, Srila Prabhupada also reveals the real purpose of music. He said that Narada Muni plays on his veena for 2 reasons. First, glorifying Krishna, and the second one, to relieve the suffering and miserable living entities of this material world. So Narada Muni is the first preacher and the first pioneer in Sankirtan Yagya within this material world. Narada Muni is the author of many important treatises, for example, Naradiya Shiksha, Narada Panchasamhita, Narada Pancharatra, Narada Sangeet Makaranda, Bhakti Sutra, Narada Bhakti Sutra. And in all these texts, Narada Muni is pointing out the importance of the holy name, the importance of preaching and utilizing music for glorifying Lord Krishna's holy name. So we know that the holy name is non different from Krishna. Krishna and the holy name is the same. And we should try to use music as a humble ornament at the lotus feet of the holy name. But we know that Krishna, he doesn't need any kind of ornaments. It is said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 21, verse 105, that Krishna is the one who beautifies the ornaments. And the same is repeated in Nectar of Devotion, while speaking about the qualities of Lord Krishna. Number 64 is the exquisite beauty of Lord Krishna. And the same idea is manifested there. Is that Lord Krishna, he doesn't need any ornament, because it is him who beautified the ornament. So we have to understand music like that, that music will be beautified by the holy name, and it's not opposite. So this is the idea, to put Krishna in the center of our music. And nowadays it is a little bit sad, because musicologists, for example, they say that the origin of this music is the mythology of India, like invented stories or legends of gods and goddesses, because they don't have faith in the scriptures. But that is our mission, to relink the music with the holy name. And ragas can be a very nice tool, because ragas will give us different rasas for different occasions. It is a science. So we know, for example, that it's completely different to sing, to make a kirtan when Vaishnavas are getting married than when some Vaishnava leaves his body. So if we speculate, we can create a nice melody, but it can fit or not the mood. But through the raga system, we don't speculate, because the rasa is a very important element of ragas. And it is sad, little bit sad, that today even some Vaishnavas, they see with some distrust this kind of music, because of course they see that nowadays artists and musicians, they don't put Krishna in the center, and they use this music just for sense gratification, to attracting masses, and receiving some Lakshmi donations, charging, etc. But or they see also that it's very difficult to repeat when devotees sing in kirtan different ragas, because they just do many kind of alankars and aesthetic forms of music. But it doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. We can do very simple melodies based on ragas, trying to see the rasa, trying to put attention of the rasa to please the Lord and to please Vaishnavas. It's very important for us to bring back this music to the real origin, which is Krishna, Krishna's holy name. That's the real origin of this music. The gopis, the Vaishnavas, our acharyas, they all sing in ragas because they want to please Krishna. Krishna is always in the center. Music without Krishna is like a flower without fragrance. It's like a dead body full of jewelry. It's completely useless. So music, as a humble offering at the lotus feet of the holy name, that is the perfection. So ragas. What is a raga? The ragas are personalities. They live, they are present in the spiritual world. And their life and soul is to enhance different pastimes of Sri Radha and Krishna, to create some atmosphere, some mood. From a technical point of view, ragas are musical frameworks, and if you follow some rules, you can also convey certain kind of rasa or mood. That's why it is very useful to compose kirtans based on ragas, because we can use them for preaching and for different kind of occasions. That is the most important element of ragas. Which rasa are you giving? Which rasa do you want to convey? For example, to feel separation with the holy name, separation with Krishna, and pray for the association of the holy name, the association of Krishna.
what we will be singing, and hopefully you can sing with us, is in Raga Bimpalasi, which is a raga that allows you to find within yourself these feelings of separation.